Welcome to Module 1, UDL Core Concepts, a partnership between the TIES Center, the National Technical Assistance Center on Inclusive Practices and Policies, and CAST.
My name is Liz Hartman.
And I'm Allison Posey. We are happy to be your hosts today. In this section, you will learn more about the vision of UDL, including barriers are in the environment, not the student, variability is predictable and can be designed for, and learning experiences can be designed so that all students can become expert learners.
Here is a broad definition of UDL that we will return to throughout the modules. We hope that with each pass of this definition, you're able to deepen your thinking about what it means and how it applies to your learning. Universal Design for Learning, UDL, is an approach to improve and optimize teaching and learning for all by setting clear, rigorous goals, anticipating barriers, and proactively designing to minimize those barriers.
Here's another representation of the definition of UDL. What is necessary for some can be good for all. In the cartoon, you see a custodian and a group of students outside a set of stairs flanked with a ramp. One boy with a red hat using a wheelchair waits by a ramp, while the other students wait at the bottom of the stairs. The boy with the red hat asks the custodian, "Could you please shovel the ramp?" The custodian responds, "All these kids are waiting to use the stairs. When I get through shoveling them off, then I will clear the ramp for you." The boy replies, "But if you shovel the ramp, we can all get in." In what ways does this cartoon resonate with you? With UDL, the vision is that all learning experiences are designed from the start to include every learner, so each can access what they need, engage in the process, and participate in the learning. When there is a clear goal, such as to get students into the building, there can be flexible ways to get there, and the pathway that is frequently used, in this comic, the stairs, may not actually be the best way for all students. The ramp is necessary for the boy in the red hat, but is actually good for all students to enter the building.
A critical component of the UDL vision is to frame barriers in the environment, not in the learner. This is similar to universal design in architecture, where there is intentional design to remove physical barriers that may block individuals from accessing and using physical spaces. For example, curb cuts on sidewalks or automatic doors might make this building more accessible for any user. Similarly, UDL looks to reduce barriers to learning that may block individuals from accessing, engaging, building background, or showing what they know. For example, instead of saying that a student cannot read the text, UDL would reframe to ask how the design of the text presents a barrier to students to access and read it. Using an audiobook or text-to-speech is one way to reduce this barrier. This shift in the language that is used with UDL can be a powerful opportunity to empower students to learn strategies that best support their learning. When we identify and reduce barriers in the learning environment, we keep the rigor where it should be, on the learning goals.
The UDL vision is that we change the environment, not the student. This quote from Alexander Denaire aligns with the UDL approach. When a flower doesn't bloom, you fix the environment in which it grows, not the flower. We know every student will be different and that every student can thrive. Our job is to help facilitate the conditions for each to do so.
A key idea from brain science is that variability is the norm. It is predictable and can be designed for. There is a predictable range of human variability in how we engage and self-regulate, perceive and build background, and execute our plans and actions. The UDL guidelines are a tool we can use to help us proactively design for learner variability. We will explore the UDL guidelines more in Module 2. For now, recognize There is a predictable range of human variability, and that will vary between each and every individual.
In this slide, there are three pictures that illustrate the UDL vision for expert learners: equality, equity, and expert learning. Equality is when not everyone benefits from the same supports. In the equality illustration, a chef demonstrates how to bake as three children watch. The three children are seated on stools of equal height. Because the children are not the same size, only one can easily see the chef's demonstration. Equity is when we can remove barriers by providing adequate supports based on variability. In the equity illustration, we see the same illustration of the chef and the children. The three children are now seated on stools that allow them to easily see the chef's mixing ingredients. For example, the smallest child is on a taller stool that puts him at the same height as the others. Expert learning is when we focus on individual needs. We not only promote equity, but also engagement and involvement. In the expert learning illustration, the chef facilitates the experience, while the three children are actively engaged in the baking. There are flexible options in the environment for students to choose to use as they need to help them progress toward the baking goal. One is standing at their own table, the other two share a table, one seated on an adjustable stool, and the other is standing. A computer monitor shows 6 more students are able to engage from a remote setting. Because there is a clear goal and flexible pathways for all students, each is supported to be actively engaged. We also reduced the biggest barrier, which was the counter itself. We know that every learner will differ. In fact, brain science reveals that variability is the norm. We can predict and design for this variability, and the UDL guidelines are a tool we can use to help us proactively design for learner variability. We will explore the UDL guidelines more in Module 2, but for now, recognize that there is a predictable range of human variability in how we engage and self-regulate, perceive and build background, and execute our plans and actions.
There's more to come in Module 2, but we will end on this last key vision. UDL is a mindset that recognizes variability, frames barriers in the environment, and works to facilitate design opportunities that support expert learning. UDL is best implemented with clear goals and flexible pathways that anticipate barriers and provide options for all to use. We will explore this more in Modules 2 and 3. Thank you for participating in this overview of the vision of UDL.